Hi everybody, it's Emma. Did you guess these colors? These are incredible, these colors. So this one is Metal Lust Matte Turquoise. And then we have Metal Lust Matte Electric Green. Of course, I had to pick this one. And this one is actually a different color. I'm just using it as an example. This was the color that I picked. This is a matte and this is a shiny. And this one is saturated metallic martini olive. And I started using it, so that's why it's almost empty. I am going to make a peyote bracelet with some embellishment, and I'm going to mix all these colors together. We're going to use this one. I'm going to do a sample for you and get you started, and then I'll show you the end product and we'll put the clasp on. So let's get started. So if you guess those colors, make sure you send me an email with your address so I can mail the bracelet to you. So that's like kind of cool. So here is a fun part in this. This is the part I love doing because, you know, we spend a lot of time sorting our beads. So this is an opportunity to dump them all in and mix them all up. Totally random. This is so much fun. Let me move my thread. Throw those in. I could probably use a bit more of those. Even it out. I like to have it evenly. I like to start with a new tube if I'm going to mix, so I don't have to count and get kind of an accurate mixture of them. And let me enlarge that a bit for you. And then this one here, there we go. And this is the fun part. Mix it up nice. This is fun. So here's a trick that Jill Wiseman mentions when she's in one of her videos. She says, if you have a problem like most of us with picking random colors to, especially with seed beads, say you're doing like a netting situation, is you just take your fingers and pinch along a line like this and pinch it up nice and like that, kind of in a line, and then start picking. And don't, you know, choose which ones you're going to grab, but try and pick it randomly. With your seed beads, you can kind of do it a little better than that in the sense that it ends up being truly in one line. And for this, because we are doing, I think 4 cross, it's quite wide. So even if you got like all these 5 greens in a row, it wouldn't make a difference because the next row would be all interspersed. So you can, you know, not worry too much. We also need, so for this bracelet, you do need 3 tubes, 1 of each color. And I do believe it uses up the whole, all 3 tubes. And you know what? I can't say for sure about that because I'm kind of questioning why I had half empty tubes. It's possible that I needed extra. So I'll have to do a count of, I have a finished one. I'll have to do a count and see how I manage that, because I have an idea how many is in each tube. So yeah, when I post this, I'll put it in the comments. So this is rose gold 15-0 seed beads, and this is for the embellishment. We'll probably need more than that, but I'll just put out that amount for now. And you need, I'm using a 4-pound Fireline. You can use whatever thread you find works well for you. I like the 4-pound for peyote, so that's what I'm using. I have my stop bead, and I put a big tail on there because we're going to start from the stop bead and go this way, but then when we're done on this side, we're going to come back on this side and add a peak and bring it down from the 4 wide down to 1 wide, and that way we can add the clasp. So there's enough on that side. So I'm just going to do a sample. I'm going to get you started and show you what I'm doing, and if it's something you're interested in, you can copy me, but I'm not an expert at this. This is totally new for me. This is the first time I've done peyote stitch with Superduos, so definitely go watch some other videos. But I have a different approach with the colors and stuff like that, so you might get something out of this video. And definitely, if you tried to guess which one it was, you might even get a bracelet. So it's worth watching. And yeah, so and like I said, I'm going to do a sample and then I'll show you the finished one and we'll put the clasp on the finished one. So I have my, and here is another hint. Normally I use a collapsible needle so that it's easy to thread. You can take it on and off your thread, but these 15-0 seed beads are kind of small, so they're hard to get on a collapsible needle. So this I thought was a 12, but I'm the feel of it. I'm looking at it now. I think it's a 10. So it's like these beads seem to be sliding on pretty easy. So test your needle before you get going. I mean, you can always take it off if you find it keeps jamming, but definitely don't force your seed beads. I've done that and they break. They're not like strong, so okay, so we're going to start. I'm going to mix this up a little better here and do my little trick of pinching this over that. Okay, so we're going to start by putting on 8 Superduos. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're going to bring them all the way to the bottom where your stop bead is. And when you do that, they're going to flip for you and just coax them if they didn't go all the way. So like this one needs to flip that way. And bring it down to your stop bead. I'm going to lay it on the mat here, and maybe I'll enlarge this for you. Let me move up a bit. Just so you can see, I prefer to hold on to it, but then you won't be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, so this one here is flipped to the right, and the thread's coming out the left side. I'm going to go in to the open hole on the right. So I'm just going to kind of hold on to everything so it doesn't move around. Oh, and it flipped already. Just go through that one. Here, let me do holding that there. Like that. Like that. So now we're ready to start picking up beads. So we're going to pick up a bead. So we're coming out of this hole. We're going to go in through this, and this bead here is going to sit just like peyote. So already we're starting to the weave. So this first couple of rows are a bit wonky for placement just because they flip and flop a lot. So like that. Just try and keep it straight. Then grab another one. And check your holes. This one here has a funky hole. Let me see if I can get in there. The secondary hole won't take my needle. Okay. Let's see if you can see. There's some type of obstruction there. Well, it's going in fine. We'll put that in. Draw that down. And then, so we're coming out of that hole, we're going to go into this hole, the next one. And just like that. I think it's time to hang on to it because it's flipping all over the place. There. Okay, grab the next one. Go through the hole. And if you've done peyote stitch, and like I said, I'm new to this, so already I'm figuring things out. So it's kind of, once you get it, I mean, you have to be careful with odd count and even count. It gets a bit confusing. So now we're at the bottom. We want a bead that's going to sit the same way, but on this side. So I'm adding a bead on. And again, this may not be the correct way to do it. So if you're all about doing it the correct way, there's a bunch of people that you could look up. You could look Allie from Potomac Beads. There's some of the ladies from Beadaholique and Jill Wiseman. So they have all kinds of videos on doing peyote and doing peyote with the Superduos. So there, I've added that one. So now I've got to turn and go up the other way. So I'm going to go through the open hole like I did earlier and pull that through. And you see if you can kind of tighten it a bit on there so it's snug, and then grab the next one and go through the next bead like that. There. And the next bead. Go through like that. And you can see how lovely it is. Look, it looks like snakeskin. Now you could do a specific pattern, but I mean, look at already there's a diamond in there. And then there's these cool turquoise around the diamond with these specks of green in it. So it's really fun to just let the design happen. So now at the top, we have to add another one so that it sits like that one. So we're just going to string that one on. Just like that. And have it sticking to the right and go through the open hole. Like that. And grab another one of these and put it in. And we're just going to continue like this all the way through. And they get all kind of flippy, so just kind of unflip them and put them back in. And through the next hole. That. Next one, we'll go through the next hole. Oh, you know what? I forgot to show you, so I'll start it next. I do this every time. I get so excited I forget. So I've restarted this a few times. We forgot the important part, the embellishment. Oh my gosh. I get so excited. I can't help it. Okay, so we're going to add a bead here at the bottom. Slide it down. So before we go through, we're going to add 3 15-ohs. So let's grab our 15-ohs. 1, 2, 2, 3. That, and bring those down as well. Like that. Then you're going to go through the open hole. That. So you would have done that for this one, that one, and these here we can do at the end, like go over the other string. So, okay, we're going to pick up a bead. That. up another bead, another Superduo, go through that hole. Another one. And so you can see it's kind of loose here. So what I do, because if it's loose up here, it means it's tight here. So this would be the way to tighten that. So just pull that. So see how it's snugged up. Now you've got all that slack. You want to pull that through, flip that bead there, kind of flat, and see if we can get this one through there, like that. So just, you know, keep paying attention to what's happening with your beads. So you're going to pick up a Superduo. This is the one that's going to sit on top. So let's go ahead and add our 50 no's now. 1, 2, 3, and bring all of those down. Oh, the seeds stayed at the top there. There. Turn it. Okay. Now we're going to go through the open hole. My bead mat's all over the place. Just gonna make sure that's tight and pull this down like that. And you can see it's kind of loose, so let's just snug it up here. There. So it's starting to look really amazing. The picot is really pretty. Because the Superduos are kind of slanted in a peak to begin with at the middle, it looks like the seed beads settle in a peak, like a picot, hence the picot. There. And our last one in 3 Superduo, there's 3 50 no's with that bottom Superduo. Look at how pretty this is coming. Now you could, instead of using gold, because you're doing kind of a snake skin effect or maybe a mermaid, you could use a different 50 no, like maybe, you know, if it was a mermaid thing, do a pink or purple lavender color, or if it was snake skin, you could do iris. Like that. Add another. Do a few more so you can really see the effect of the picot. And then I'll show you how I finished mine off. So you can see it starts to go really fast because it's big, right? But look at the colors, it's amazing. I just think it's, you know me, I get so excited. So this, we're gonna add this top one on and 3 50 no's for the embellishment. Like that. Then come down through the open hole. Like that. These guys need to move over. Okay. Pick up a Superduo, go through that hole, like that, and another. So it's interesting. I will show you the one that I prepared earlier. It is totally different in the randomness. Like this looks like there's some actual patterns. The other one, yeah, it doesn't look like there's any patterns to it, so it's interesting. Okay, so then we're going to add this to the bottom, and we're going to add 3 50 no's. Like this, all the way down. And we're going to go through the open hole right there. Make sure that's pulled in all the way. Like that. My thread is just curled up because I'm kind of dragging it through the beads just because the way the camera is. I can't move my arm over to the right to draw the thread. So it's curling because it's scraping up against the side of the bead. So try not to do that because it'll makes it harder, it tangles quickly. Okay, so now, so let's pretend that we've gotten all the way through our bracelet, and now at this point we want this to start to taper off. So I'm going to add one more here. Untangle that. And this here, I'm sure there's different ways to do it. This is the way I kind of figured out how to do it. And it may not be the best way, so definitely take a look at some videos. I did, however, see that, actually I didn't see anybody doing a taper. Everybody did put a seed bead in between those and stop it this way. And I prefer the Superduos to be all one unit. So, okay, so we're coming out here. Now what we want to do is we want to add a bead there and a bead there. So to do that, we have to bring our thread back down and be able to come up this way. So I'm going to go down this one and through the next few. And you just have to kind of jiggle it or go one at a time. I might have to do one at a time here. They are a little looser than I would normally make it, but it's kind of hard on camera to do this. It's super tight. Okay. So let me see. I want my thread to come up here. Yeah, so I need to come down here, over, and then down and up. I don't know if you caught that, but I'll show you. Let me just turn this, make it easier. It's coming at the back. That's fine. Just make sure it doesn't get tangled. Okay. Yeah. So I want to come through this blue one, this turquoise one. Okay. I'm going to go over to the green one and go down the green one. Like that. And you're really not going to see this thread, so it's not a big deal. And you're going to come up, cross over like that, and add a bead, go through the next one. Snug, add another bead, go through the next one. So we're getting there. Now we just have to add one more here. So we kind of have to do the same thing. We have to go backwards. You could go this way, but then you're going to have a thread going across two beads, and I don't like doing that. Now you could take your 50 O's and do a picot each time over, and then you'll get this nice little picot. I just like to do it this way because I like doing things differently. Why? Because I'm obstinate. Don't you know? Okay, so now I need to come down and down. So through this green one, but not through that blue one. Then and down this one. And not through my finger. That's what happens when you put your fingers in the way. Okay, then you cross over here and pick up another bead and go through there. And you are ready to put your clasp on. So basically you come back to this side, and you know, I could take the stop bead off and do it, but it's basically the same. So find a thread path that will take you through, and really you can't see the threads that much. And we are going to put our clasp on, so it may cover all of this anyway. So there you go. So go ahead and try that out. And in the meantime, let's take a look at the finished one and we'll add the clasp. So I'm going to steal this needle. And that's the wrong way. So let's put that over there. And let's move these guys out of the way. I don't think we need any of these. This is so gratifying mixing them up. As long as you use them. If you have to like resort them, it's like, oh, why did I do that? Okay, so now I have put these guys out. I probably don't need that much, but I have a gold closed jump ring and a lobster claw and some 11-0 seed beads, and ta-da! Look at what I have. Let me bring you out so you can see the full. So there you go. This is what it looks like. That is so pretty. And you can see the pattern is so different than the other one. So this one had like this interesting, and then that little diamond there, and then these lines and stuff. And this one is just, I mean, there's still lines in it, whatnot, but yeah, and you can try different colors. I think it looks amazing, and it's so lovely to handle, and it's nice and slinky and soft, smooth. So yeah, it's super cool. So let's work on this side here. Get my needle on. I can't believe that I can actually thread a needle on camera. It seems like I can do it on camera better than I can on my own. Like I'll say, oh, I'm gonna pause the camera while I do my thread my needle, and I'm like, I can't do this. Okay, so we are up here. You could go straight across. I kind of want to bring it up to here and add, say, my jump ring first, and then add some beads. Let me think about that. So in the first, to begin with, I think what I'll do is bring this through here and start at these three. So, but you could essentially put beads all the way down. So let's do this. And let's enlarge this so you can see a little better. So we're going to go through here. And I'm just kind of jiggling my needle to see if I can get it through all the beads, and you can kind of squeeze them together a bit. Sometimes that helps. Otherwise, just go through one at a time. I may have to do that. And I think it might be because I have a lot of thread in there too. There, look, got it through. Ta-da! It's magic. The magic beader. Come join me on a magic mystery tour. Okay. I kind of wanted to be in this spot here. So actually I'm going to come back through so that I'm at the bottom of this green one, like this. Because then it won't jump a bead. I know it's kind of silly, my obsession with that, but that's how I am. Like it or not. So yeah, let's do 3 and then go through this one. We'll put 3 on the other side. And this, I'm just kind of eyeballing this, figuring it out, you know. So now I am all the way through here. Make sure you can see this. So I kind of have to go under this bead here and through these guys. I'm going to have to reinsert it here. Like that. I am amazed at how lovely the gold embellishes this. These Superduos are so beautiful. I mean, you just add a tiny bit of embellishment and it looks amazing. Okay, so now we've got those on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through them again, like that. And I think, I'm trying to think if I want this to sit this way. I don't think it's going to matter too much. So, yeah, let's try it this way. 1. So I'm going to add 6 to this one, just because the jump ring is big and round, so I don't have to worry about like splitting it up half and half. If it was the clasp, I would have to, and we'll see when I get to that. So here's one that won't go on this needle. So I just put those to the side. There's nothing wrong with that bead, it's just my needle's too big. So let me make sure I have enough. That's 5. I need 1 more. So there's 6. And the jump ring. Sorry, I keep moving. Bring that all down. Like that. Okay. So you're coming out of these. Let's go into these here. There. So you see what I've done there? So it's just one continuation of the other beads. So we are going to go through, and actually we can go through this one now. I don't think we need to go all the way over. Just like that, pull it tight, and go through it a few more times to secure it. Go through all of them. Might have to do a couple, go through separately. And through those. And the last 3. Just like that. Now I think I'm gonna make my knot here. No, let me. I want to make sure I hide my knot. That's why I'm kind of pausing. Yeah, I think I will. And pull it tight. And do another knot. And again, you can like, so I could put a knot here and I could show you right now. To hide all of this, I could go ahead and come back around, come through these guys, and then add a strand of beads and bring it through here. So let's try that so that I can show you, you know, you're not going to have this knot showing. So I'm going through these two. Well, you're actually going through three, but you see how there's the two green ones there? This is getting a bit tight because everything's getting tight, period. So let's see if we have to do them separately. There, yeah, I have to do it separately. That's fine. So I'm going to pull this, and that should kind of hang on to the knot there and mash it down a bit. Okay, so I'm right there, so I'm going to come out here and go through this green one. There. And again, I think this needle is too big, so like I said, this is a size 10 needle, and if I had a 12, it would slide through there, no problem. Okay, so let's go through here. Where am I? Make sure I go through all of these guys. And go through here. So these next set of beads that we're going to add, they're not really structural in any way. They're embellishment, so you don't have to go through it a bunch of times. So that's kind of nice too. So let me grab a few here and see where that takes us. That bead is kind of tight. Let's see what 3. Actually, I think 3 is going to be enough. It will go into this hole here. And then we can come out on the other side. I don't want to go through that last hole. Last Superduo. Okay, so in fact, this was nice. It went through everything. And like that, there. Pretty. I didn't want to bring it up to the Superduo or the 15-0s because they're different sizes. So this just kind of suits it a little better. Okay, so now we're coming out that hole. So we're going to add 3. And we're going to go through there. That one, that hole is no good. 1, 2, 3. And go through here. Now I think I'm just going to go through one bead here, like this. Apologize, my camera's, if you don't set it, it tries to adjust on its own. So there's those guys. This is beautiful. Like, this is like a fairy tale. It's so pretty. Doesn't take much to get me excited. So let me just go through this one, and I'm going to weave my thread through. I might put a knot in there. Something's tangled here. Okay. Oh, there. Let's figure out where this is here. Okay. So I'm going to go, let me go over to this blue one. maybe not. See, these ones are getting a bit snug. See if that'll go in. Go through the green one. I didn't think it was going to be this kind of flippy floppy. Through the blue, through the green. And there we go. About. And see where I can. I want to put a knot somewhere. Without showing the thread. There. Okay, so we'll go through this one. Yes. Okay, and we'll put a knot here, and then we'll be done this side. It's interesting, I find, and you guys let me know what you think. I find that what takes me the longest is the ending part. But maybe it's just you remember that part the most because it's kind of a struggle at times, and it's more of a homework finishing part than it is playing with your beads. I'm such a child. Oh, I don't want to do the finishing parts. I just want to play with the beads. I need little elves to come and finish off all my bracelets. What do you think? Do I have any takers? You can fill a basket full of beads when you leave. We went for a swim today, so they increased the amount of people that are allowed in the pool at once. So we have 8 lanes to swim in. So normally there was 8 people that could swim at a time, and me and my wife take up 2 spots. So that only leaves 6 lanes. And then, so now you're allowed to share a lane. And so they increased the numbers. So it was interesting. Like for my wife and I, it's not a big deal because we'll share a lane, right? So you don't have to share a lane with a stranger. But if you had to share a lane with a stranger, I mean, during normal times, that's what we were doing. It's so weird, saying that during normal times. In the old days, when life was simpler, when there was no Insta, totes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're ready to do the other side. So we need 3 11-ohs. And go through the hole. So this one, what did I do different here? I was further down because this looks kind of rounded. I'm going over a bead. Let's take a look what I did here. Oh, I was in the other hole, that's why. Okay. So that one is a little kind of, it's given like a picot effect. So let's see if we can go the opposite direction. Did we do that for this one? Do I know what I'm doing? Can you guys help me? You know I'm going to get complaints. You don't even know what you're doing. Why are you trying to... Please watch somebody else's videos if you don't like my videos. Okay, I'm going to be polite. So I'm in the wrong hole, period. So let's take this off. If we want to make it consistent, I wouldn't be too concerned, but so let's let me go through here and just end up on the other side. Yeah, this is hard to do. And I don't want to scratch the finish on these beads, and it's bending my needle. The noive. Okay. I need to go through this green one. And then I'll be in the correct position. There. There. 3, 11 O's. And then through the hole at the top. That's better. 3. And through this hole again. I thought we were done with you. Let me see. I can push it through. Hooked on the there. This is so pretty. Okay. So I think I'm going to add the thing here, so I'll have to come back. What do you think? Wow, was there? Okay, my thread has to be, so I may have to try and straighten my needle out here. Let me see which, so I was underneath that one. So I thought, I was hoping I could avoid that so I wouldn't have to go through all these. Yeah, this is really hard. Holy moly. It wasn't that hard before. It's because you guys are watching. Don't watch me. I can't. I'm shy. Oh my god. This is crazy. I hope I don't break a bead. This is not good. Okay, I'm still not where I need to be. This is, I'm sure it's like super frustrating for you guys to watch this. And I'd love to say, let me pause this, but there's no pause on this camera. You know what, honestly, I would not have bought this tablet if I'd have known there was no pause button. It hadn't even occurred to me. I just assumed it's a camera. It's got a pause button. So I'm just working through getting videos. Let me see if I can do this. These are so tight that I can't even do them one at a time. Okay, I need to figure something else out. This is not working. Let me see if I can go through this hole. Holy, none of them. Yeah, I totally would not have bought this tablet if I'd have known that. I can still return it. I'm big on returns. I'm just not big on like once you've used it. But how would you know if it's good or not if you don't use it first? So let's see if I can squeeze that in. I can see the needle. Holy shishka. Look at that. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I think my needle is way too big for this kind of fine stuff. So I just have 2 more to go. And I'm supposed to go through this a couple of times, but there's no way I'm going through this again. That one wasn't too bad. Thank you guys for being so patient. I will try and get this straightened out here. So we need 3 11-O's. It's so worth it. Look, there's somebody's getting a free bracelet. Quit complaining. Oh my gosh. I'm crazy. That's crap. That one. Now I'm getting... You're crap. Get away from me. Okay, 3. And the lobster claw. And 3. And go through these guys. And I think what I'm going to do is go around this. How am I going to do that? Oh, I'm going to put these on. So we're going to add the 3. I'm trying to avoid going through, so that's why I'm thinking out loud here. Okay, so I'm just going to go through this bead and only this bead, if it will allow me. If the bead gods will allow me. Please, bead gods, I've been a good girl all year. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's what we want. Now we have to reinforce it. So what I was thinking was, if I could get up here and just secure this area. So let me see if I could do this. Oh, I knew there was a reason why I was talking about the swimming. I don't know where my needle, oh, it's sliding. So we started out, it was just my wife and I in the pool, so we each took a lane, and then people started showing up after we started. So a lady came to join us, because you're supposed to share the lanes, and we said, oh, we'll get in the lane together, you can take this lane. So I'm having a hard time here, so I'll just see if I can get through one of these to get, okay, it's not going to go there. And let me see if I could slide in here. I think that's where I was. Holy sheeshkers. Well, this is like so tight. That's my fault. I made it that tight. Okay, that's not working. Let's try this one. It's gonna look terrible, but I will fix it off camera before I send it to somebody. Because this is ridiculous. So you can kind of see that thread there. But wowzer. Okay. So let's go through this one, and then we'll go through all of these and secure them. So she said, I think I recognize you, and she's pointing to my wife. She goes, did you swim at Centennial Pool? And we're at the Sportsplex right now. So Centennial Pool is in Halifax, and that's all it is a pool. So there's no gym or anything like that. So the membership for that for seniors is $125 a year, which is amazing price because the place is open 7 days a week. And but they're closed right now because they had some renovations they were doing. So a lot of people are coming to the pool, and that's in Halifax and we're in Dartmouth. So anyway, she's like, yeah, I recognize you from Centennial. She goes, didn't you? And I said, well, don't you recognize us together, right? Because I said, most people only recognize us when we're together. And she's kind of looking at me funny, right? And I'm like, well, we're married, right? She's still looking at me funny. She didn't understand what I was saying. And I said, well, and I don't know why that's loose. It shouldn't be. Let me see if I tighten this. There. Okay, I'm going to put a knot and then go through. So I said, she goes, well, I recognize you, and she points to my wife. Didn't you used to swim with a big lady? And what I interpreted big as tall, right? And I'm definitely not tall. But what she meant was overweight, big. And I don't know why this is coming through. I'm wondering if we didn't tighten it properly. Let me see. There, that's a little better. Well, I'm going to put this through, I think. Famous last words. And put a knot, and that should do it. So my wife goes, yeah, it's her. She lost 80 pounds. And the lady's like, oh my gosh, I totally didn't recognize you. So it's like it's been a while. And it's people that haven't seen me in a year that they're like, what? So with COVID, people haven't seen me. So every time I go to, my doctor's going to flip out. She saw me because I had like a visit in the office. I'm trying to think, it might have been just before COVID. Okay, this is not going through, so that one's, we have to skip that one. Actually, I'm going to finish this off camera because for the most part this is done. But yeah, so it'll be interesting. So my doctor saw me when I lost about 50 pounds, but I'm down 80 now. So that last 30 is incredible, the difference. So let's bring this out. So that is beautiful. So this turned out really nice. So I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry about all the you know, trying to get through the needle. Go figure, you look at something, you think, this is going to be so easy. And then you can't get through the beads. I'm shocked at how tight they, because in the middle they're a bit kind of loose, right? But look at that. It turned out so beautiful. And here is that. Let's hook it together. And there we go. And there it is. So easy. 3 tubes. I think they were maybe $1.50 each tube. So, you know, $5 worth of beads and you got a beautiful bracelet. Thanks for watching. Take care and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.